I can rub all these things. For getting the torsion in shaft, torsion equation is necessary. Torsion equation is important for design of shaft. For design of shaft. So the equation is T by J is equal to Z theta divided by L is equal to tau divided by R. So this equation now we will develop. Okay, fine. For deriving this torsion equation, this is the torsion equation. For deriving this equation, we have 7 assumptions. We should take 7 assumptions. And now we can see the assumptions that required for deriving the torsion equation. The first assumption is pure torsion. Pure torsion must be applied to the shaft on a plane perpendicular to the axis of the shaft. So pure torsion means what? We are considering only the shear stresses under torsion. The bending stresses due to the weight of the pulleys and the weight of the gears are neglected. Now second one, material is homogeneous and isotropic. Homogeneous means the shaft should be made of same material. Isotropic means we know that there are different properties inside a body. These properties should not change in a particular direction. So through every directions, from a point in every directions, the properties should be same. That is isotropic character. Now the loading is within the elastic limit. We know. After the elastic limit, the plastic region will exist. That means after the elastic limit, yielding will start. So that is not suitable. So every loading should be within the elastic limit. So that is my second assumption. Now third one, circular section remains circular even after the application of the torque. So here we have a shaft which have circular cross section. We can see the circular cross section. Now under the application of the torque, we know the material will rotate. While rotating, this circular cross section should not vary. If the circular cross section is varying, we can say warping of the cross section will occur. So we are neglecting the warping. The circular cross section should remain circular even after the application of the torque. Now the cross section which are plain before twist must remain plain after twisting. By the continuous rotation of this shaft, we know that a twist will occur on the shaft. Or when a twist is occurring in the shaft, while we look on this cross section is plain. So looking the entire cross section after twisting, we should understand or we should notice that every plane should remain plain after twisting. Now all radii which are straight before twist must remain straight after twisting. Here we can see each radii for different cells. This radius is straight here and this radius is also, every radius is straight. So before and after twisting, each radii at every section should be the same. Now twist should be uniform across the length. Here we can see under the application of the torque, a twist is occurred and through the entire length of the body, the twist should be uniform. The twist should not attain different values at different points. So through the entire length, the twist should be same. Now no change in length under the application of the torque. So here the absence of torque, here the presence of the torque. The length is neither increasing nor decreasing. The length are the same. So the length should not vary under the application of the torque. So these are the main assumptions that we used for deriving the torsion equation. So this torsion equation is very important for understanding the equation for torque. After understanding the equation for torque, we can design shaft, because the equation for torque contains the term diameter. After understanding the diameter, design a diameter, then only we can go to design a shaft, because we know that under the application of a torque, a twist will generate in the shaft. So this twist can lead to the formation of a shear strain, and then it will lead to the formation of shear stress. This shear stress generated should not be more than the allowable shear stress for the material of the shaft. So it is very important to understand the diameter, or to determine the diameter of the shaft before going to design it. So this torque equation is very important. To getting to For getting the torque equation, we should go for the torsion in shaft, and therefore we are assuming this 7 assumptions, taking these 7 assumptions for deriving the equation for torsion in shaft. Based on the assumptions, I am going to derive the equation. For that, I should have a shaft fixed at one end. So this is my shaft axis. This is my shaft. Fine. This is the top view of the shaft, and this is the center point of the shaft. Consider we are applying the torque on the free end. This end is fixed. On the application of the torque, we know that the surface will get displaced. The surface may get displaced by some distance b. Now let us consider this angle as phi. Similarly, from the top view, if you observe, here there is an angular displacement, and this point is A and this point is B. While looking from the top, we should say this is the angle of twist theta. This is the angle of twist theta. This is the surface displacement phi. Surface is displaced by or sheared by an angle phi. Here it is twisted by an angle theta. Now let us consider the radius as capital R. Why I am considering this radius here? It is very important to keep in mind that the shear stresses generated will be maximum on the top surface and the minimum shear stress. Minimum shear stress is observed along the longitudinal axis of the shaft. Now from this figure, I will do one thing. We have phi is equal to, consider this length of the shaft as L. Okay. This length is L. Phi is equal to AB divided by L. Opposite side by adjacent side, or we can say that a shear strain, this is shear strain is equal to length displacement on the surface by length of the sheared face L. Now from here, geometry, angle is equal to arc by radius. Theta is equal to AB divided by R. From this I got expression for AB as R theta. Phi is equal to R theta whole divided by L. Now I have the expression. What is this actually? This is actually shear strain. Now what is shear modulus? We all are aware about three modulus: elastic modulus, bulk modulus and shear modulus. Here I have shear modulus is equal to shear stress divided by shear strain. Now I can write shear modulus C or G, any letter I can choose. I am choosing C. C is equal to tau divided by phi is R theta divided by L. From this equation I can write this C divided by tau. C divided by tau is equal to L divided by R theta. On arranging this, we can write C theta divided by L is equal to tau divided by R. So we got our first equation. So this is the equation. C theta divided by L is equal to tau divided by R. In this, C indicates the shear modulus, theta indicates the angle of twist, L indicates the length of the shaft, tau indicates the shear stress generated, and R is the radius of the shaft. Okay. Now we can write this equation here. C theta divided by L is equal to tau divided by R. Now if we are considering, this is the center point, here shear stress is 0, here shear stress is tau max is here. Now let us consider a particular distance here. So this distance is R. Now we want to find the distance shear stress at this point. This is indicated by the letter tau suffix R. So from geometry we can say that for this radius, tau max is available here. So this radius, tau R is available here. So shear stress at a distance R divided by the radius at which we need to measure the shear stress. So this is another equation. Now we can see the top view of a shaft to find the torque. Now our aim is to find torque acting on the shaft. for that purpose I am considering a shaft here. This is the center to find the torque. Now let us consider a small elemental ring here. Here we have a small elemental ring with a thickness, I can say the thickness is dr, with a thickness of dr. Let this ring is at a distance of small r and the outer distance is capital R. So this is my ring here. Okay. Now we need to find the force acting on this ring. We know that shear stress is acting on the shaft during the torsion. So we should be aware that shear force is acting on the shaft. Shear force is equal to, we know, shear stress multiplied by area. So we are now considering the ring, considering the element, considering the elemental ring. We can write the equations. Elemental ring. Shear force on the element, let it be dF, is equal to shear stress at a particular radius r. I am writing it as tau r. By shear stress at a particular distance is expressed by tau suffix r multiplied by area of the elemental ring. For a circle, we know that area is equal to pi r square. So derivative dA is equal to 2 pi r into dr. This is the expression for dA. Now one more thing is available here. Instead of this tau r, we can write tau divided by r into small letter r is equal to tau suffix r from this equation. So df, I could write df is equal to, from here, tau divided by r into small letter r into dA is 2 pi r into dr. Fine. Okay, now just I can rub all these things. Now, what is torque? Torque is equal to, we have already seen in the beginning, torque is equal to tangential force multiplied by the radius. Force multiplied by the radius. So, dt is the torque on the elemental ring is equal to df into what? R. This distance. I should take a small letter r because the ring is at a distance of small r from the center O. Now for getting the entire torque on the shaft, we should integrate this. T is equal to, we can write T is equal to integral of dt, that is equal to integral of df into r. So df into r, what is the value? T is equal to integral tau divided by r into 2 pi r dr into r. So this will be, we can take the constants outside here, tau divided by r into 2 pi into integral r, 1 r here, 1 r here and 1 r here, r cube dr. Fine. Which limit we will take? So this distance, this is 0 and this is r. 0 to r, we should integrate. So this is equal to tau divided by r 2 pi into r raised to 4 divided by 4. This 2 will get cancels and here we can write 2 here. This pi r raised to 4 is a common term, tau divided by r into j. So expression for t is equal to tau by r into j, or I can write t by j is equal to tau divided by r. Now combine these equations. On combining these equations, I can write t divided by j is equal to c theta divided by l is equal to tau divided by r. So this is my equation. Torsion equation for shaft. Torsion equation for shaft. Torsion equation for shaft. This derivation is very, very important. It is not finished yet. We have to see some more terms here. First term we want to see is the torsional rigidity. So first one is
torsional stiffness. We will see torsional stiffness. It is very simple. Torsional stiffness is equal to T divided by theta. First term. Second term is torsional rigidity. Torsional rigidity, and torsional rigidity is equal to T divided by theta divided by L.
Okay, ink is finished. Now let us pour some ink here. So what is combining? So this is T by theta divided by L. Comparing with this equation, T by J is equal to C theta by L. Equate this one, T by J is equal to C theta by L. Then we will get T divided by theta divided by L is equal to C multiplied by J, Cj. So this is the equation for torsional rigidity. And now coming the polar modulus. Polar modulus. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you is that here we got one term, that is equal, T is equal to what? T is equal to tau divided by R pi R raised to 4, sorry, pi R raised to 4 divided by 2. This was our equation. In that equation, pi R raised to 4 is called J. This is the polar moment of inertia. This is polar moment of inertia J. For circular sections, pi R raised to 4 by 2 is the polar moment of inertia. That is why we are saying that T is equal to tau divided by R into J, where J is the polar moment of inertia. Here we have polar modulus. Polar modulus is indicated by Zp. Zp is equal to J divided by R. So this is the thing. Polar modulus, we can say this is J divided by R. Now let us see. We have the torsion equation. T divided by J is equal to tau divided by R. From this equation we can make expression for torque. So torque is equal to J divided by R into tau. Like this I can write J divided by R. Write very carefully. This is J divided by R into tau. What is J? Polar moment of inertia. For a circular section it is pi R raised to 4 divided by 2. This R is there into R into tau. One R will get cancels and then it will become pi R cube divided by 2. Now I can write T is equal to pi R cube divided by 2 into tau. What is R? Radius is equal to half of diameter. So I can write pi into d by 2 the whole cube into tau. That is equal to pi into 2 4 16, pi by 16 d cube into tau. This is the equation for torsion. This is now the equation for the torque, and this equation has got many importance in design of the shaft. For designing a shaft, we should be aware of the design diameter. Otherwise, if the design diameter is wrong, the shaft will fail. We know that in a shaft, while working, torsion will come in many circumstances. When the torsion is coming, that torsion may lead to the generation of shear stresses. That shear stresses should not exceed the maximum allowable shear stress. For satisfying that criteria, there should be a design for diameter of the shaft. So this is the importance of torsion equation. So our basic equation for torsion is T by J is equal to C theta divided by L is equal to tau by R. This is our basic equation, where T is the torque, J is the polar moment of inertia. For a circular section, it is pi R raised to 4 divided by 2. C is what? It is the shear modulus. Theta is the angle of twist. L is the length. Tau is the shear stress, and R is the radius of the shaft. And that's all about the torsion.